Hi, buddy. Hey, buddy. How's it going? Hey, YouTube. Just getting out on a Saturday. Going to do a cash closing. I'm late, of course. It's all my fault. Trying to get things organized today, and I double booked myself, unfortunately.
Turn right on Vista Grande Drive, then turn right on Lone Tree Way.
I had a lady call me to do fingerprinting yesterday, booked the appointment for 10 o'clock, and then I had a loan signing come in at 10 o'clock, and I forgot that I booked that appointment.
Turn right on Lone Tree Way
At 10 o'clock, so I had to get somebody involved to take over for me. Luckily, I have multiple employees to help me overcome these double bookings, so that's great. So anyway, that's working out. I wanted to talk about
in half a mile. Use the right lane to turn right on Jeffrey Way.
I wanted to talk about helping your fellow local notaries out. And you know, a lot of people, or I've heard people talk about how they can't connect with local notaries because they're like shunned, or they don't want to talk to you, or whatever. They think you're competition, which they are. You know, I'm not saying your local notary is not your competition, but you know, here's an example in my life, because I kind of had that mentality when I first started out. I wanted to capture
in 1,000 feet, turn right.
I wanted to capture all the business I could. You know, I was a starving person when I first became a notary. I was driving for Uber and Lyft.
Turn right on Jeffrey Way.
And you know, I was just trying to make ends meet, and it was difficult. You know, I mean, I'm in the Bay Area, and when you have a mortgage,
in 900 feet, turn right to State Route 4 West, Martinez.
And you're trying to make ends meet with Uber and Lyft, it can be difficult. Okay, no doubt about it. So, getting my notary business started, while I was doing that,
turn right to State Route 4 West, Martinez.
Sorry, I'm getting on the road. This thing keeps talking to me. So, as I was getting started, I was like, okay, I need as much notary business as I can get, you know. So I didn't lower my price lower than what the maximum I could charge for the state, but which at that time was $10 a signature. But I was just trying to capture that business. And I didn't want to talk to any notaries around me because, hey, come to me. Don't go to UPS store. Don't do that. I'll go to you, whatever. So I had that mindset of not.
2 miles. Take exit 30, State Route 160 North, Rio Vista, Sacramento.
I had that mindset of not collaborating with my fellow notaries, and that is a problem. And the reason why I say that now is because for me, when you're busy and you have too much work and you haven't connected with other notaries, the best you could do is tell somebody, hey, go to the UPS store and, go get your documents notarized. But if they call and they say I have a loan package, generally the UPS stores won't touch those documents because they don't want to be held responsible for if they screw up something. Okay, so it's good to network with other notaries. So if you're not available, you can say, hey,
1 mile, exit right.
Try this other notary out. Or if that one doesn't work, try this one out. You give them a couple choices, right? Because
watch out, object on road ahead. That's
another problem. If you don't answer your phone, if you're a notary that doesn't answer your phone, then you're going to be losing out on business. And I actually, sometimes I can't answer my phone, and I'm guilty of that because I'm in an appointment or whatever. But on my message, I say, hey, I'm in an appointment. Leave a message or text me. I'll get back to you. Some people leave messages, some people text me, and it works out. Other times they just call and they don't leave a message. And those people, I have to actually start calling. I call them back and say, yeah, what do you need or whatever, And actually, this happened this week. This lady's looking
exit right to exit 30, State Route 160 North, Rio Vista, Sacramento.
This lady is looking into becoming a notary. She's out in San Francisco, and so I called her back. She said, "Oh, I didn't mean to click on your ad or whatever." I guess I have a call ad. She called me or something, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, well." And so I started talking to her about being a notary and all that. Gave her some resources she could check out, And she was like so grateful at the end of the call that I actually called her back, because at first she was like, "Why didn't you call me back? I didn't leave you a message."
3/4 of a mile. Keep left, fast track lane.
So by the end of the conversation, she was happy, and I gave her I gave her a name of a notary over there that is a lot of people know him, Matt Miller. Said, try and hook up with him, and he can be a resource because he's in the city. He might be able to,
in 1,000 feet, keep left.
Tell you the ins and out of the city over there, But, just give her a resource.
Fast track lane.
Just give her a resource of somebody that's local in her area so that she could, connect with somebody local. And Matt's a great guy. He sends me work.
Straight for 13 minutes to State Route 12.
He gives me work every once in a while, and this is the reason why you need to network with your local notaries, because there's times that will happen where you're too busy, or the job is out of your area, your immediate area, and you just want to help that person out. And if you network with local notaries, you can send them work. They will be grateful for it, and then when they're too busy, they will remember you and say, "Hey, I'm going to call Jeff up and see if he's available and see if he can do the work for me." And there's people that take different stances on this. Some people say, "Hey, I'm gonna be like a signing service. I'm gonna take a piece and send you the job or pay you for it." Like they're a signing service type thing. I really haven't taken that stance. For me, I just say, "Hey, here's a number. Collect the money." So take the full amount, because I'm not. I have enough work that I'm not starving, so go ahead and capitalize on that appointment that I can't do. So I've been thinking about this quite a bit, because I had in fact yesterday I met this lady, this notary. She's in the next city over from me. I met her on Clubhouse. And we got to talking, and I told her, yeah, I do apostille work. I go up to Sacramento and everything. And she's, oh yeah, great, I'm going up there too to drop up some documents. And I just happen to have one. I say, hey, can you drive to Sacramento for me? I'll pay you, some money to go up there and drop it off for me. Because for us, where she is and where I am, it takes an hour and 15 minutes to drive up there and then to drive back. And then you have to find parking and go in there, drop your document. So it's about 3 hours round trip when everything's said and done. And that 3 hours, it's a nice drive. This is the road I take up to Sacramento. So you see that, I get some okay scenery, get some cows over there, and, windmills that don't turn half the time. So, it's just great. But it's nice to be able to now we have a relationship where if I'm going up there, I call her, hey, I'm going up there, you have anything? No, I don't have anything. Okay, great. If she has something, hey, do you have anything? So it's back and forth, like we're communicating, like, hey, I'm going to Sacramento, I'm going to pick up a document, and I'll be like, oh yeah, can you pick up my document too? Or can you drop off my document? Whatever. So here we are, I'm paying her. I haven't done anything for her. I pay her for her gas. Anyway, I don't want to give her, take advantage of her, so I give her some money, I haven't done anything. She hasn't reciprocated because I haven't had the opportunity to do anything for her, but that's okay. I'm not in it to make a bunch of money doing that, but just the relationship that we have one with another to be able to work together. And in fact, yesterday, my wife needed a notary, and I call her up and say, hey, are you available to notarize my wife's document here? And so my wife is French, and I said, so she's doing some documents that are going to France, so she gets it notarized, and I said to her, hey, I think you need to get this, you need to get an apostille on this document. And my wife's like, well, it has to be there by the 26th of January. I'm like, no, nothing to make it. Can't get it in time. Say, well, I'm going to just try and send it over there and see what they say. I'm like, well, do you want to make a copy of this so that we can have her notarize it again and bring it up to the Secretary of State, and then you can do it. We'll have it all ready to go when they reject it. No. Okay, fine. So you give the customer the choice, even though it's my wife. I know, whatever. She doesn't want to listen. Well, that's fine. I would have been happy to drive it up there for her and get it taken care of. I wanted to charge her my fee, obviously, but it was just great that I was able to call this notary and say, hey, can you do this for my wife, which was awesome. She came over, and I said, hey, give me your card. I'm going to give you a 5-star review. So I told my wife to give her a 5-star review on her Google page. And that's another thing, reviewing other notaries when you use another notary, or even if they send you work. I had a notary, I sent her a job. She's out in Florida. I sent her a job, and she reviewed me and said, hey, thanks for the referral. That's great, team player, something like that. I made zero money on the deal, but she gave me a 5-star review, which helped me out. And that's what's important. And just speaking to this notary, I was talking to her, I said, hey, we need to get some notaries in our area together and just come together and network, because there's times, I do fingerprinting, and I said, if some of you guys are doing fingerprinting, I can have you guys, if you're available, take some jobs, the jobs that I'm losing, because I'm not available, for example, So anyway, so we're gonna, hopefully that's gonna come to pass here. I know that there's a networking event coming up next month in my area. I'm not available to attend, but we're going to try and make this work. And I just want everybody out there to think about that. Think about being a friendly notary, essentially. Being somebody there, reliable. That's another thing. Being a reliable notary. Okay, because I talked to some other notaries, and if this notary hears this message, he will know I'm talking about her. This notary hired another notary to be a witness, and she showed up to her appointment. The witness didn't show up. She's calling the notary, hey, where are you? Whatever. The lady wouldn't answer her phone. Okay, so if you get hired as another notary to help another notary out, you need to communicate. If something comes up, if you crash your car or you're in the hospital or whatever excuse you want to come up with why you can't do the job, at the minimum, relate that to the notary that hired you and say, hey, I'm not available to do this for you now. And then possibly give them a resource that they can call, like, hey, here's my other friend notary, try this person out and see if they're available. So, that's the kind of relationship that you want to have when you're on the other side. When you're getting work from other notaries, you want to make sure that you're reliable, you're able to do the work and not leave the other notary in the lurch. That is just not kind, and it causes more trouble, And that could be another reason why a lot of people don't want to network, because they might network with the wrong notaries. And I'm not saying that every notary that you meet is somebody that you want to do business with or want to have a relationship with. I mean, there's a lot of notaries in the world, and there's notaries, especially that have come out from the pandemic here, that all they're in is, hey, I just need some money to pay my bills. I don't care about notary law or whatever they're thinking, And those kind of people that they're thinking about the dollar, those are the notaries that you kind of want to stay away from, because those are the people that are going to be like, oh, you're going to pay me $25 to be a witness? Oh, man, I have to drive that far? No, I need at least 50, or something. They'll be like all about the money. It's like, hey, I need some help, and that's the thing, I mean, around this whole networking thing, I've found, just for example, doing apostille work, for example, I have people that notaries that you say, hey, can you drop this document off, like for example Sacramento, they charge you their full fee, what they normally charge the normal public. And you're like, dude, you're just dropping it off. You're not doing anything but dropping it off. Why are you charging the full fee? It's a tricky subject, because I know that probably triggers a few people, because they're like, man, I'm doing all this work. Why shouldn't I get paid all that money? It's like, well, first off, you don't know what the notary charged the customer, okay? And
in 1 mile, use the left lane to turn left on State Route 12.
Let's just say you charge $100 to do an apostille for somebody as a notary, and then you go say, hey, I can't get up there. I can't drive this into the Secretary of State. Can I send it to you? And can you do it for me? And they say, well, yeah, I can. But I charge $125 or $150, whatever. And you're like, I'm not going to make any money then, And sometimes you as a notary have to just, yeah, I screwed up. I undercharged, and I'm going to have to bite the bullet, But you kind of have to say this is about networking. It's like, hey, you know what? If you could give me a deal this one, I'll know your price for next time, and then I'll be able to accommodate that for next time. Because then I'll go to the consumer and say, yeah, it's not going to be $100. Now it's going to be, you know, 200.
Turn left on State Route 12.
225 or whatever you're going to charge to cover those costs and make a little bit of money. Or maybe you're going to go, maybe I'll charge 200 or whatever, and you know. So those are things to think about when you're networking. You know, don't think about the dollar all the time. Think about the relationship that you can build with the other notary. You know, and that's the key. You know, because sometimes we're in states away, and you're like, I'm never gonna meet that notary in my life, and I'm gonna suck them for everything I can get. Well, you know, there's a million notaries in those states. So if you